Hey everybody, good morning. Looks like we're gonna hit the 3-day roadmap line. We did on ES, we did on NQ. That's can we hold it? That's the big question. I mean, look at that. Look at that right there. I mean, boom. You may be surprised. I'm a little surprised how fast we did it. I think I said that in August too. I was like a little surprised on how fast we did it. Look at that. Look at this. See what we did right there? Look what we did right there. I mean, it's almost a copy and paste. Kind of crazy. I don't even know what to say right there. I think Sledge removed the bolt from the door of the market. I'm going to pin it on him. Everybody can blame Sledge. He doesn't seem to be in the chat, so everybody make sure that you blame Sledge for this. I think he took the bolt out of the door for the market and lost a few. Fell out here. He was he keeps blaming me for the bolt on the door on Boeing. I drew a big oval right here. If anybody's like completely surprised, didn't know we were going down here at all, I apologize that I didn't warn you sufficiently. If you're new here, well, we kind of talked about this scenario for quite a while. That if we broke down here, this was the likely target. Right there. Yeah. Dang, I dislike it when I'm this right on the downside this fast. All right, that's not my favorite, but here we are. We're only a few points away from this low at this point. Not even that far away. It's possible we might go hit the weekly roadmap line right now. It is possible. Here's the 3-day right here. That was a fast trip. When you look at it, it took us, look, that was 1, 2, 3 days to get there. And then you look at the 3-day, it was 1, 2, 3 candles to get there from the bounce. The bounce didn't even go as high as I thought we would. Crazy stuff. I'll clean some up. We hit the 50%. Almost. We right down there, right there, and continuation. Now, the thing to watch out for at this point, this could extend right here. That's still in the proportions for the first move down, the retrace, the second move down. Do I want to see it? No. Is it possible? Yep. And look at the number here. 5,027. Right there. I'm not really adjusting anything I'm doing. I've kind of picked my battles, picked my spots. This one hadn't really moved much. We were already at the 3-day. We were already at the weekly, actually. We were already, look at that. Holding really well. Indicates a bottom potentially in place. Yeah, sure, it can bounce around and jostle a little bit, but potentially that bottom's in place. The monthly all the way down here. If we break down below the recent lows, like 240, that might be the indication we're going to go visit this guy right here. And that revisits the low we had back here. All right. Something to be cognizant and aware of right now. We are down in the pre-market on Tesla. So we'll see what cooks. This is one of those, opportunities to find stuff. Jobs came in way stronger than expected. Way stronger. And when we dive into the lower time frames, we're getting a little bit of positive reaction. This will probably give it up into the, possibly give it up some in the open. It's possible that that's the bottom today. Now that we hit the 3-day, quite possible. I was hopeful we find the support yesterday, but we haven't even tested. We're breaking through the 1 minute. First signs reversal. Haven't even gotten to the 5 minute at all. Look at this. We broke down. It's like dumpster fire territory right there. Holy moly. Yeah, I'm going to have to zoom out just a little bit just to show you the power of this thing. Look at this. Right to the 272. I always talk about this, like 1448 or 1.1448. Bounce back. Didn't even get to the roadmap line. 1272. Bounce back. Right to the 1618. Small little bounce. That was a warning sign. Flush right to the 272. It's climbing the fib ladder. It's climbing the fib ladder just upside down. And oops, I did that wrong. Let's do minus. Cool. Awesome. Click the wrong. I hit the wrong thing too fast. Come on. -1 times ES1. There we go. So when you do it upside down, look at that. Climbing the fib ladder. Now, when you go that high, that fast, you come back down pretty fast. This would be resistance because it's above us. Could it extend it on up? Sure. Here's your levels. Just based on that last bounce. It's kind of crazy. 51.79, 49.71, 48, 47. 43.52. That's pretty wild. Anyway. Be careful out there, everybody. Be careful out there, everybody. Everybody be careful. Anyway, I kind of expect a bounce here. Like, we might even bounce back above where we closed yesterday. Possible. I don't know. It's been a constant grind down. I'm not too concerned though. Like, if anybody's like, anybody who wasn't, I guess let me know in the chat if you weren't a trader during great financial crisis. This is a lot the same. I mean, so far. And this may just be the first piece, and we may get the all clear before the real cracks start showing up. There's no damage to the market yet, even though you listen to mainstream media, it sounds like it's apocalyptic. We're never coming back to the, U.S. economy is destroyed. There's no damage so far. We're just at the 3-day roadmap line. It's amazing how much everybody freaks out. Freaking out, man. Nothing's happened that I didn't expect. Everybody's like, "Are you surprised?" It's like, no, I'm not surprised. Like this was all on the speed is the only thing that was a little surprising. But when you compare the higher time frame here, 3 days, we go up to the weekly. When we actually go down for the weekly chart, if we're going, it'd probably take us 3 weeks to get there. So this may continue into next week. if we're going to go on down for the weekly. I was talking about how this thing was full of air. Everybody's like, there's no way Nvidia could drop that much. Guess what? Some other indicators I was talking about, like SMH, got the lower low. This, this may very well be looking for that hit right there, which is just happens to correspond to the first move down, the retrace, and the next move down. Like I have for months been talking about this potential right down here. These things have a habit of actually working. Just amazing. Amazing. Yeah, you can, I mean, it looks like a free fall. It's not free fall. It's, yeah. This is a lot like Great Financial Crisis. I mean, it's just the way it started. This isn't even like, if you feel like this is the crash, this is not the crash. Like, we're not even, like, this is just the beginning. If we're going to develop this into worse stuff. All right. Let's go back over here. See, this is, when I talk about this is just the beginning, look. That is what you have to look forward to if we're going to actually do something bad. All right, this is, this is what we're just working on, this part right here. Starting to concern me. But let's go back. Pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. See right here, we did a hit. Back up. This is actually where I think we are. We may get that all clear. This hasn't happened yet. All right. I mean, if anybody doesn't understand, please, for the love of everything, ask me right now. Like, this is where I feel like we are, right here. On the roadmap of corrections. Wow, lots of stuff going. Probably lots of stop outs. And you can see it right here. Like, it's possible, entirely possible. We're here. This was the 2000.com bust. We went up even higher. But then came back down. We're going to do one of these. All right. It's going to be wicked. It's going to be awful. That's a 50% downside. One of these is cooking. I don't think we're there yet. Man, everything hitting downside targets. I'm going to have to go dig through all these alerts after I'm done. That one right there. 57% downside. This is a very real potential for this. It seems like we're doom and gloom right now, but I mean, we could get a bigger 75% downside. Gotta be careful, everybody. Now, this is why I say, you got to be prepared for what might turn into a big correction. Zoom out and look. We haven't even moved. The monthly is way down here. That's nothing right there so far. That's 32. We could be talking about an ultimate target down here. See what happened over here. We dipped down below the monthly. We actually did a 3-month hit. That correction was one big correction right there. It didn't seem like it when we were living it. It seemed like, oh, that was a correction. Oh, we're back in good times. But when you zoom out and look at it, that was a big correction. Took us down to the big corrections take a long time. We're due for another one of those hits. Might even be due for a higher time frame hit. And it could take a while, like a number of years, like 6 months. That's probably last time we hit it. Great Depression. I have a feeling that we're due for that 6-month hit right there. All right, that's big picture. It's going to take a long time. We're going to have years of bad, years of good, years of bad to get down there. That's big picture what I'm talking about. All right, when I talk about the bigger picture, Greater Depression potential coming, this is what I'm talking about. Everybody's very sensitive right now, but we're talking about something like this, potentially lasting the next 20 years. All right, I'm 100% serious right now. I see that coming. I just don't know if we go back up to the top or we go back up to a significant retrace before we work on that bigger, deeper move. If you got questions, keep coming back, keep asking. All right. That's yeah, this will be a lower low Friday. Like there's high potential we make another bottom on Monday, but you got to watch the rip. If we start ripping, if it reverses, we get like 150, 200 point up, we may not dip to a lower low next week. Right? This is one of those rare ones, the 5-ish% that can change the outcome. I would be very careful right now betting on anything sure bet wise. Be very, very careful. This is a time for caution. You got to know where your limits are. If you want to fold, you got to fold. If you want to hold, you got to hold. This is not the time to make drastic changes unless you kept a lot of cash ready to buy. This is time to start hunting the deals. This is not a generational wealth load up time. This is just an opportunity. But this is not the big down yet. And put this in perspective. Here was the pullback in 2022. We're not even halfway there yet. Just if we copied that pullback. All right. I fully suspect that we've been in a this is all just part of the same recession. This was all just money printing. And did you know that the Doge team has found 14 computers? Yeah, computers are, can be servers, whatever. 14 systems that were just paying bills, not taking it out of the treasury, not taking it out of anywhere. They were just paying bills. Just making money out of thin air. Not going through the Fed, not going through the treasury, not going through any of the systems in place to create money. They were just paying bills. 14. To the tune of, this might be Trump's big news, he announces, to the tune of $700 billion of inflation money creating a year. And who knows how long it's been going on. And they weren't all in one department. Some in the some in Social Security, some in HSS, some in Department of Defense, some in, they were all over the government, scattered around. 14 systems, just paying bills, no, just out of thin air. You'd be like, that's not possible. That's what they found. There's literally no other transaction that goes with it. They were just creating money. It goes straight to inflation. I mean, that's 5 to 10% inflation right there. Straight to the money supply. Mind bender, right? This is when I talked about taking the heroin away from the addict. This is just the beginning. Gotta be careful. Oh, look at that. Consider adding long wrist to Twilio. Let's go look at that one. It looks like it might go a little lower. Might go retest those breakout of the highs. How do you think banks loan out 10 times? Well, that's a whole different thing. They loan out 10 times because of there's a word for it, but you put $100 in the bank, depending on their cash reserve level, whether it's 5%, 4%, 3%, whatever, let's just say it's 5%. They can loan $95 of that. That person takes it, puts it in the bank. They can now loan 95% of 95, and that goes all the way down till the bottom. Yeah, where can I buy it? Yeah, it only works for the government. So, I'm not good at the math on that one. I have to pull up a calculator. 95 times 95. It's 90.25. Yeah, I just, 100 goes into 95, which goes into 90, which goes into, I'm just rounding down at this point. So we take 90 times 95, and it goes down to 85.5. Call it 86 since we rounded down before. And it keeps going. Like it goes all the way down till, on till we get to zero. So you can't make any more money. This, it gets loaned out. It gets put into the economy. It gets put into investments. It gets puts into treasuries, reinvested and put back out there. And it keeps going until we get zero. And that's the money creation in the system right there. And maybe I should have done it with 10% just to illustrate. You take 100, as my thing's skipping a little bit. It goes down to 90. The 90 goes down to 81. You get the picture, right? Each time. That's how money gets created in the system when you add a dollar. So that 700 billion became maybe 7 trillion. When you look at the M2 money supply. Was that whole ramp part of the inflation? Or maybe this doesn't even account for. Maybe that doesn't even account for it right there. Maybe they're underestimating the money supply at this point. Well, one thing's for sure, that money is not money we have to pay back. We didn't borrow it. Didn't go to the debt. It just went to inflation, went to raising prices on everything. So, yeah. It's crazy. Absolute crazy. Absolute crazy. Anyway. That's what we got cooking. Can we find a bottom? Got to watch the low time frames. 5 minute is the next test. I told is anybody surprised that ripping the band-aid is going to hurt? Anybody surprised that ripping the band-aid? I mean, I talked about this starting last summer, maybe before that. Whenever the idea around it came up that we were going to start cutting $2 trillion of government spending, guess what? It has detrimental consequences. It has nothing to do with tariffs. It has everything to do with global liquidity, flushing down the toilet. The excuse is just the excuse right now is just tariffs, but this is probably coming down here. If we close the day below that level, if this develops into something worse, we're probably going to take it back down here. We had the warning signs for, gosh, that whole period of time. Didn't break out, broke down. I was warning. Now we're getting the flush. It's a global liquidity flush. Goose was asking me this morning. He was like, early this morning, he was like, what do you think's going on? I was like, global liquidity is just vaporizing. Just vaporizing out of the system at that 10x rate. I talk about how there's only 10% of the money in the system, maybe less, when everybody runs for the exit at the same time. This is exactly what we're seeing. We saw $1 trillion vaporize off of Mag 7 yesterday. Between Apple dropping like that, Amazon, hit A's twice. Amazon, shoot. Cool. I should just hit enter on these instead of backspace. God darn it. Amazon. Look at that. Look at the target. Goose, you doubt me? Look at that. So close now. That one might need a little bit lower. Crap. My finger was just on the edge of that. There we go. Microsoft, look at that right there. In the target zone. All of these have been foretelling this. Microsoft's been foretelling this move since July of last year. This is the kind of stuff that blows my mind with what I do. Blows my freaking mind, man. I'm serious. Like, I'm amazed at that worked. I spent 30 years, or I guess 20 years trading before I learned Fibonacci, and now it's like, what the? Fibonacci and Elliott Wave. Now it blows my mind when I see stuff like this, and it plays out exactly like I thought. And this may go just a little lower, 355. I can't. I don't know, everybody. Like, this messes with me. Google doesn't really have a downside at this point. Like, it might drop the soap in the shower. Really concerned here. We're back testing the breakout high. If we can hold this, that's positive for the next rally higher. If we don't, really concerns me on Google. Really concerns me. Nvidia, we already know, needs a big flush out. Tesla's already flushed. Good, bad, or ugly. Has the potential to go on down. Has the potential. I mean, just the fact that this works so well just blows my mind constantly. Like, Boeing drew that big down arrow on Boeing months. That big down arrow, drew it a month before it happened. Weeks, I guess, weeks before it happened. So, then we were right down to the support levels. Now we have the potential, although it looks like we might extend it now with this recent return near the lows. Very cautious here on Boeing. I never did add a position. That right there didn't, I mean, it looked good, but it didn't have a clean five-way structure. Makes me wonder if we're going to make another dip down to 130. And then we have overlap, so that really causes concern between this move and this move if we go lower low. Just not sure there. Not sure at all. The list is ridiculous today. Like 400 tickers, mostly down. Like 13 tickers were bullish. Mostly just stuff like VIX. Highly likely this is going to, VIX is going to give it right back up. Be very careful out there. Be very careful. We usually only get 1 or 2 days pop and then take it back down. It happened right over here. We can be right back down in a couple days. Be careful. We do not typically get prolonged moves up. Even during stuff like COVID, it was nice and fast. Rolling on back. Even during these periods, we got a few days pop and then came back, a few days pop. And then we went on the bigger rip, but it had some, look at these, had some big pullbacks in there. Big swings. So be careful chasing VIX right now. VIX is not the time to buy. You know, as I said yesterday, it's not the time to buy, even though you could have made an extra couple points. I don't think this is the crash that's going to take us down, so you got to be careful. Everybody gets super bearish. We tend to flip it. Now, interesting to me, yesterday, the market was not pricing a dip below 5,000 at all. I tried to put on my spread for this baby yesterday. Just, you know, it actually came, the math for it yesterday, it came out right down, I think it was at 490, 460. There was nothing there. Let's see, do they have that? Yeah, they got the options on here. It was out to May 1st. And there was no premium on this yesterday. Of course, today, now there's hella premium. Now today it'll be this one. That'd be the long or the short, and then there's no real premium there. Less than $1 at the moment. Of course, that bid ass just jumping all around. That's just crazy to me. Crazy. Anyway. In Q. On the bottom. Russell. Look at that. Extending on down. Wild stuff right here. So this seems to be a 5 down. That first move down, projected off of that 4. We're in bottoming territory here on Russell. Bottoming territory. Could extend it just a little lower, but I don't know. I don't know. And this is the other thing we got to watch out for. If this was the A wave and this is the B wave, this might be the C wave down over here. At this point, I'm just going to have to clear the drawings because we didn't do that. So for what I'm talking about, if this was the A, this was the B, even though we may, B waves can go higher than the start point. Potential for Russell to bottom right down here in this correction. If we're not going to take this higher, we're just going to keep flushing it. Potential for this to rock and roll right down in there. Oil, well, 3 days at the roadmap line, and then 2 days later, we're at the target. Holy fudge, man. Surprise, surprise. Was that shocking anyway? That's why I was very cautious. Yeah. Like there's opportunity if we break out, but guess what? It went right down to the target. Here's the next one down, 50. I mentioned that charts have a funny habit of clearing up any ambiguity between them. CL didn't have the lower low, while Brent did have the lower low. All the news was like, oil made the lowest low we've had in years, right there. I was like, well, it did on Brent, but it didn't on CL. And now, there we go. Now we've resolved the differences in those charts. At this point, gotta check out the potential. This is European oil, just in case. There's the potential that this comes all the way down to the 40s. Right down in here. CL has that same downside potential. At this point, golly, I got a lot of stuff drawn on here, but most of it doesn't matter. Hey, everybody. I can either end the stream. I got to go do something really quickly. I can either end the stream or I can be right back in probably 3 minutes or less. What do you vote? 3 minutes or less or in the stream? I got to go take care of something really quickly. Let me know what you think. Dun, dun, dun. I vote 3 minute pause. I'll be right back. Hold on, let me pop this up. Here you go. I'll be back. 3 minutes or less. Oh, look at that. 2 minutes. Got it in 2. There we go. All right, back at it. There we go. So, oil. Let's just... I got to clean up this chart. Just clean her up. All right. Would be willing to bet. Wow. Oil might need a flush down to 38 to pull that fib line down to 95. That'd be a pretty wild one. Well, with the drop we had, we could be down there in a couple days. Then they start refilling the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Wouldn't that be a trip? That'd be an absolute trip right there. And so first move down. Right there. Control, copy, paste. Right there. Look at that. That would be the minimum target, and that would be the extension. 46 and 37. We could just drop out and do that right there. Wow. Gold. Let's go see what we got. I think we're topping out here. This. It was pretty green earlier, and now look at that volatility. Yeah, when I woke up this morning, it was like, I was like, that's a three wave. 1, 2, 3. Continuation. Down, down, down. Just on the roadmap bounce, target is down to 3,050. And when we look at the bigger setup that we have cooking already, this is not gonna please many people. I was warning about this though. If we're going to go more bearish on oil, this be the wave 1, this be the wave 2. Wave 3 is going to be down here more than likely, and possibly extend it on down lower than that. 280. So this is what we're looking at right here. Potential to here, possibly here on the next move. That's just the next move without having much of a bounce at all. Then we'll probably do another bounce and a final flush that matches this one right there. So we could be looking at the bounce like this and a final flush right down in that area. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. Guess where that puts us? Five is right at the top of that. This will come up. Chow, right there. Can't make this stuff up. So, guess what? Silver coming on down. As I said, I want to see this bottom in this vicinity right in here. That's what I was waiting for. This might be the opportunity to add long-term silver right there. Might be. Oh, man, it's a rough. Oh, look at this. Futures are up. Pretty sure that the Coinbase chart was negative at the open. It might have been green. We'll have to go look. Go look. I wasn't paying attention. So there was the close. Switch to guns. Where were we at the open? It was red. We've only turned green since the open, so probably going to get a red day on S&P. Now, since we started out down 200 points, we might just rally back and end up down, but gonna have to be careful. So Probably a red day at the close. This is not a red monster. This was a strawberry monster. Red monsters are actual red. You know, see the difference here. Didn't drink a red monster. So can't blame this one on me. Like I said, we'll blame it on Sledge, especially since he hasn't stuck up for himself yet. It's all Sledge. He took the bolt out of the door on the market, and there we go. All right. Ethereum. Still red, hadn't broken down. So this is crypto has been amazingly resilient right here in the face of global liquidity. This is really interesting. Everybody says that how crypto hasn't been acting as a safe haven. Right now, though, it seems nobody's scared enough to start selling their crypto. And that's interesting. I find it highly interesting. Crypto hadn't budged. Total market cap of crypto. Look, there's been no flush out. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. This could still rally. I mean, maybe this is gonna, 2-week lead. You know, if this starts breaking out, maybe we get a 2-week lead here. Maybe crypto starts moving over the weekend. The market churns around, churns around for the next 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden we go meet those highs, and the market goes back up. You know, this could be the warning sign like we saw in 2009. Just rewind, talk about this 1 quick minute here. The market tends to do the similar stuff, all right? Like similar things happen over and over in the market. This makes me think. We just did this move right here. There's a lot of things very similar to the Great Financial Crisis. We might have just done that right there. It's entirely possible. And that only took a month. You know, we're just slightly over a month on this correction, right? Well, that was cool. What the fudge just happened? I didn't even touch it. I didn't touch anything. That was weird. Jump back to roll it back. I guess it jumped to current. Roll on back. There we go. Getting in the vicinity. Oops. Yeah, that rolling back right there. That lasted 7 bars, 29 days. How fast did we return to the high? This will be like, if we do this, look at it. This will be absolutely insane, right? 2 months to get back to the high, basically. 13 bars. So 29 days down, 56 days up. And then that was like, this is why I warned, if we go up again, that could be it. All right. Don't think I'm wrong if we go back up. Let's compare that right here. I keep coming back to this because I remember that very clear. So it took us 45 days down. So, you know, last time we were almost double to get back up. It could be 3 months to go back up. 45 days down. And maybe we get 3 months back up. So 90 days. This would be absolute wild if we do this, right? Put that right there. I put 95. I gotta adjust that slightly. I'm sloppy on my sloppy. There's 89 days. I guess 3-day chart. So we were talking about something like that. July. Huh. That lines up. If it fits, it ships, right? So watch out, July. It's potential to run it to. Yeah, crypto, I don't expect to run past October either. So this would be like the danger zone over here. If we rally from here back up, this would be the danger zone out to October. Set that to red. Yeah, let me make it like a. Yeah, that red looks weird. There we go. It'd be like a danger zone right there. If we rally. Yeah, if we come back up. Danger, danger, danger right there. Just for that. Just for giggles. I'm going to put that up there. Let's see what happens. Now, today, it doesn't look like we're reversing very hard yet. There's potential, but we'll see. There's still the 95% chance we make a lower low Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. This does qualify as the lowest low of the week. Lowest low, it's the lowest low on this chart, period, for months. Lowest low of the year. Market doesn't typically bottom on a Friday. So we may get an extension Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Kind of suck if we went down to the weekly, but it's possible. NQ, still the same. So that's kind of hit all the highlights. Dollar, look at this. Actually rallying back. The global liquidity flush. This actually looks like we might have finished up this rally. Like that actually met all the criteria there for 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be done. Could be looking for the retrace here. Back to 106 on the euro. Dollar may rally for a little bit if that happens. Did that the wrong way. And dollar yen plummeting out. The EWJ might present an opportunity here. Restoration hardware. Boom in the target. Can't make this stuff up, man. Dang. Sorry if I let anybody astray on that earnings there. The target was there. Can't make it up. I don't know. Can't make it up. Wow. I didn't do that. I didn't touch that one. Adobe, potential come on down. DFS. I'm just going to hit a few here. Just jump around. PDD. Tariffs, man. See what C-Web doing. Well, came back down below the roadmap line. That might go lower low. XOP with the bed. I was warning that a lot of these oil charts didn't get me particularly excited. CX. Yep. Missed the upside. Valero. Oh, look at that. We're coming down into support here. I want to see that get to 90. Valero. Shopify. Wow. That's going to reach the target here. Amazing. I shocked myself here. I'm telling you, everybody. Going on the extension to 74. Shake Shack. PANW. Almost to the targets. Yeah, we're coming into a point where the market can really, really strongly bounce. Technically. Doesn't have to. Nothing ever has to do it. But technically, we're coming into a strong support zone. Look at that. Housing already. Housing not playing today. Nail. Nail not really getting beat up today. Despite a lot of the home building supplies coming from overseas. Interesting. That's interesting. We'll see. Oh, I saw this. Where is it? Crap. Whirlpool. WHR. That's the one I was trying to go for. WHR. Yeah, they are still getting hit. Look at that. Target. I drew that target almost a year ago based on just a crappy bounce. There it is. That low, that high. We may actually come down to 76. Let's see. I saw XYZ. I saw block come through a minute ago. Oh, 32. Real possibility. PayPal. 42. Real possibility. It's been out here for almost 3 years now. I've been waiting for that 42 on PayPal. FCX, almost to the target. LMN. No, oil and gas in California is all because of regulations. They just, USC just did a big study on that and released it. It's like almost entirely because of the regulations. So blame your regulators, not anything else. The only reason oil and gas prices in California go up is because of regulations. That's coming into support. See if there's anything I've been hunting. Let's see. SLR. That one's not actually doing much. That's crazy. Appears to be some support here. Or solar. Which other one? Let's see. Target. Still grinding lower. May come down to 60. Let's see what Walmart's doing. Holding up pretty well. DG. Oh, yeah. DG. I didn't buy any yesterday, but that is a big opportunity right here. XPV. Gotta come back down. Lemonade. On the bottom. Hasbro. Wow. Guess you make all your stuff in China. First move, second move. This could be hunting. This could find a bottom right in here. We're coming into that support. Let's see, TJ Maxx. Let's see, GES. Oh, yeah. A lot of these look really good to bounce. Celsius, look at this. On the breakout. Getting ready. Beautiful potential. I'm just checking stuff now that I've been holding and shopping for. Oh, UPS, man. Whew. Let's look at FedEx. Equivalent plummet into the abyss. Wow. $3M, not that bad. TXN. TSM. Oh, we're almost there. almost. ASML. Look at this. Look at that. Boom. We might go down. I wanna know if we get 600 at this point. We're so close. Anybody doubt? Like, how long did I talk about this one? How long did I talk about this one? Look at this. Look at this. I surprised myself. Shocking. I'm sorry. I sit there. I'm like, how did I do that? Like, that's the thought that comes to my mind. It's not like, wow, I'm that good. It's how did I do that? You say it's humble pie or whatever, but I mean, I'm sitting there going, holy, the narrative going on in my head. It makes me speechless. Like, this might have to dip a little lower. I was very hopeful on financials, but this wrecked it really quickly. And turned an 8. A big bowl of crap really quickly. Now, financial earnings coming up next week. JPM. Friday. Bank of America. Tuesday after that. Wells Fargo. Friday. Morgan Stanley. Oops. Friday. Goldman Sachs. I read a lot of trading desk reports. That'll be Monday. So we've got a lot of financial earnings ramping up next Friday, and then the following, kind of like spreading next weekend. So that should be interesting moving forward. See what happens here. These are all coming down into support and could bounce really big right there. Duolingo. Not really moving much. That may need to come down here to provide the opportunity. I know MU was getting hit pretty hard yesterday. It's in the danger zone today. If we don't just take this back, looks like that opportunity is smoked. QCOM. That one's starting to break down also. Never took a position. Just was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Let's see what McDonald's. You would think, McDonald's pretty. Avoiding tariffs pretty good, I think. CMG. That looks like it wants to reach down and touch that target. We did make a lower low, but that just looks like it wants to reach that little target. Kava. I would expect this one to come on down. Things that you wouldn't think. Let's see. BKR? No, it's not BKR. What is it? Dang. Oh, it's not BRK. What is it? Can't remember all my tickers. Get frustrated. Yum, holding up really well, actually. And cake, still grinding down. No, that one at CBRL. It was CBRL, right? Yeah, Cracker Barrel. Ooh, look at that. Hunting that 31. That can be the bottom of Cracker Barrel. Let's see. Eat. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get that right at all. Eat is down to the roadmap line. That looks pretty darn good right there. Checking it on Netflix. It's going for the double hit. Watch for that to hold. And I think we hit, let's see, we hit Microsoft. We didn't hit Meta. Let's try to hit all the mom and that. Ooh, man, look at that. How does this have that much exposure to tariff situation? Like, they don't really sell products. Like, I would expect this to be acting more like Google. Hmm. Yeah, that one doesn't make sense to me at all. Meta being wiped out like that. This might be an opportunity to buy that we don't see again right here for a long time. Meta could double pretty quickly. I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of things here, I would nibble, if you're gonna go at it. Gold's still at 20 trillion. Apple, there's no companies in the $3 trillion club right now. Everything lost $3 trillion status. Right there. Nvidia getting close to losing $2 trillion status. Amazon down at 1 trillion. Alphabet down at 1 trillion. Vanguard got flushed pretty hard. Silver at 1.7 trillion. Saudi Aramco 1.7. Bitcoin at 1.6. Wow. There's just been a mass flush out here. 1.3. And there's Meta 1.2. So this could, it wouldn't surprise me if this doubled to 1,000. $1,000 a share. Put that in the $2.5 trillion club. As far as stocks go, that may be maybe a really strong opportunity. This one right here, I mean, gosh, we lost the $1 trillion club. There. That can go up quite a bit. We've already talked about that already being liquidated out. TSM, I don't know. Like, that has a lot of risk. TSMC. Walmart, look at that. That could climb quite a bit. Could easily double again. Wow, Tencent's climbing on up here. MasterCard's bigger than Visa? I thought Visa was bigger than MasterCard. Guess MasterCard's bigger than Visa. I didn't see Visa on here. I gotta go check that. $643 billion. Yeah. That's what I thought. Where's Visa? Yeah, right there. Okay. I just rolled right over it without seeing it. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. AEM. Oh. Yeah. Looks like game over on gold. I'm going to hold till Monday, but if you're a gold rush, you might want to bail. I don't know. Just saying. I don't think it's going to, like, right now, looks pretty rough. Oh, cool. Do you want to upgrade? No. And Airbnb, almost a support. We might get a big bounce in the market coming up. Now let's look at MSTR. Holding up really well. Of course, as expected, Bitcoin's holding up really well. So, you take your hands off the keys. Let's see what else we got. Remember, this one might be a buying opportunity. Right here, despite the big dip, this will come ripping right back, more than likely. No company has ever defaulted. Now, it could go deeper. We're only talking about a couple bucks here. No AAA rated companies ever defaulted on collateralized loans. Like this is a AAA company, and they have collateral against that bond. You put it on adjustment scale. This is one of those rare opportunities to buy into this on a dip. Right there. JBBB. Now, you could lose money here. Like this, possible to lose money here, but it's also been on one heck of a rip here. This is triple B rated, B and triple B rated collateralized loans. So there is collateral here, but it's possible some of these companies could go bust and this could get whacked a little bit. Unlikely, but it's possible. JAA is the safer place to park money. If you're like, I want to go to cash and put it in some place that still earns money, here you go. This would be where to go. If you are just freaked out, you want to go someplace relatively safe in the market, this is where you would go. Right there. You don't have to go figure out how to buy bonds. You don't have to go do anything. You can just go buy this right here. 6.12% dividend and the potential to come back up to new highs. Right there. Silver's got farther down to go. Like that's why I haven't bought yet. I am completely out of gold and silver, waiting for the bottom, and it looks like the bottom's going to be right down here for silver. And gold I outlined earlier. I think it's coming down to 2,800 right here. Bleed it back off a couple $100, and it's a real possibility we could go down here on gold. On gold, right down in the 3-day. Hadn't been that long since we've been there. Anyway. All right. Any other opportunities that I might see today? Let's see. Let's check on SVXY. Getting pummeled. That may need to reach down to 32. Lame. See how VIX is going. Yeah, VIX is hanging in here. Lots of fear in the market. Lots of fear. SPX pushed down new lows. Yes. We just higher low. Get your fingers off the keys. So we need to build a reversal, right? That's the whole key. This has to do bullish things. If this is going to be the bounce, I'll just, give you the bias for the day. I'm not sure we're done on the downside. Like I can't be sure at this point. It just keeps, pushing lows, pushing lows. 5,000 would be a good place to go find support next. All right, we're kind of in limbo right now. If we're going to break lower, 5,000 down here at the weekly. All right, I wish I had better news, but I would expect the weekly, since we poked through the 3-day, the weekly comes into play. I've talked about that for a few months. I didn't put it highly likely, but now here we are. That was a distinct possibility. And now, can we hold the 3-day and go make that new high? Or do we need to, since we did that, back before, maybe we need to come on down here before we can bounce. We're going to bounce at one of these levels. It's going to last a couple months, and then we'll see what happens. So it's just a matter of, do we bounce here or do we bounce here? Look at all the mainstream media. It looks like we're going on down here. Quite possibly. So how do you know we're going lower? You can watch that small time frame right there. We start closing 5-minute candles below 52.34. We're probably going on down, and it may happen here. I mean, it could be happening now, I guess, since I'm on delayed time here. Look at the SPX. Well, the SPX doesn't have a bounce because it didn't have the pre-market action. Haven't even touched the 1 minute on the S&P 500. Just a good old fashioned flush out right here. So that looks like a 1 minute bounce. We may push down. So the next levels to watch right down in here, then here. If we flush on down, like that, there we go. Yeah, already getting below that alert I just set. Like I said, we're probably already down there. So it looks like a bearish day. Like I said, Bitcoin was red at the open. I pulled this up yesterday to look at. Do you want to sign up? No. And give me the current interactive chart. Look at that. Down to 19. We're already below 20. We're getting back into reversal territory. We get below 10. Reversal is imminent. Here, this is stocks of other 20-day moving average. I pulled it up on bar chart because it won't give me an update until after the close, end of day. It'll actually update at 5 p.m. That's what that little E means right there, end of day. And it looks like we're probably going lower. And so watch for a reversal here. Extension lower entirely possible. Looking for support down to 17,760, 17,700, 17,550. If we're going lower, and a break above, wow. Yeah. Break above these highs right here would be indicative we're going to go on a bigger bounce. So you can set your alert right up here. We break through that. We're going on up, probably, at least in the short term. It works right here too. Break through 5,300. We're probably going on up at this point. Without it, weekly roadmap line. Maybe entirely where we're headed. And like I said, the market's not really pricing in much below that. If we go look at SPX, come down here. They don't have options on SPX. So look at these. Go out. Should be 28 days, 27 days, 28 days. Look at the prices down here. That's interesting. We have $5 strikes there. And yeah, the pricing is not there for a move down into the 4,000, low 4,000s. They ramped up this pricing in a hurry. I'll have to go do some math on that. Look at the chart. I don't like the way this presents on here. I'm going to have to look at a different set of these numbers. I think what messes me up is IV thing being right there. Where are we right now? It's X 520. Market pricing in almost a $40 move by that time. So we've up to 560 or down to 480 in the next 4 weeks. By the end of the day, market is pricing in, wow, $6 move, $7 move. Sell, you know, almost an $8 move. So 52, 528 or down to 512. That's your range right now. Down to 512 or up to 528. Wow, look at these 0 days. Holy moly. There's an opportunity. Look, you see it? It jumped out at me. Look, 510, 78, 500, 29. Sell that, buy that. It's an opportunity right there. I don't think it'll go in the money. If you wanted a spread, there you go. 0 day spread. Sell the 510, buy the 500. If you want an upside, credit spread, let me see. Same opportunity is not present. The market's saying it's not going below 510, right? Like with the pricing. I can roll through pricing and see anomalies. I don't know why. I can. Yeah, it's not present on the upside. It's not present in the calls. So be careful. We could get a rip higher. The risk is priced on the calls. But it's unlikely we go below 510 on XSP. All right. You can play VIX put. I'd be careful though. It's possible this continues and we get a trip down to the weekly roadmap line and VIX spikes to 60. I mean, it's possible. Just mind your time frame. You can see right here. They expect a volatility plummet. And this is the most volatile time of the year. Forward VIX futures. Expecting back down, 27 in May, 25 in June, 24 in August, 23, but none of them are predicting dropping back to 12. So potential, like you could go out here to the late summer and probably price in something dropping back down to 14 and make money. Back down to 20, maybe make money. It's potential. You can do that on VIX. Don't think they have, they don't have the options here. And that's indicating, if you want to play aggressive, you possibly could. You're wrong above 43. And it might plummet down in the next couple hours, couple days. You could make some big money really fast right here. Playing 0 days on VIX, or maybe out till next week. Highly likely by next Friday, we're back down, at least back down in here. Maybe even back down in low 20s. And I'm sure the options are priced insanely right there. Have a great day out there, everybody. I'll be back again on Monday. We'll do it again. I'll be in Discord. And if you got questions, just tag me. I won't necessarily watch Discord because days like this, I usually sit on my hands because I'll do stupid stuff and lose a lot of money just gambling. This is the kind of day I already know. I've done this so many times. This is the kind of day where I will try to make a lot of money and then I'll guess wrong on one little move and lose a lot of money. I will lose a lot of money. I'll blow an account in an hour. So it's one of those days where I have to be very careful because I'm like a moth to a flame on a day like today. I will blow an account. So I already know. I've done this. I've seen this so many times. That's why I'm kind of nonchalant about the day because I know I can't trade today because I will blow an account. I will be like, I know what it's doing next, and I will blow up an account. So have a great day, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye for now.